What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Submission Fishing Live podcast. How everybody doing today? My name is Muto, your host. Glad you could join us. You got a good show for you today. Well, hopefully you guys think it's a good show. So we talk about the hurricanes a little bit. What's coming in, kind of what they're going to bring, what to expect, and we'll kind of compare it to last hurricane. Like the last big one we had, kind of what we had, how this one compares to that, and maybe make some predictions, stuff like that. The hurricanes are always kind of um, people always have opinions about what they do for the fishing. So we'll maybe take a look at what the last hurricane brought, and maybe do some predictions, stuff like that. We got some news stories for you guys, of course, and obviously some of your questions. And if you guys have any questions live, let me know. Just have a good hour of fishing conversation. Go over my little trip for you guys I went on yesterday, and it should be good. See who we got in the house. Marvin, Spinning Rod Rebel, what's going on? Welcome, Graham. Who's welcome to the show? Doug, Ruben El Sueño. Doug, you've been killing it out there, man. Seeing those fish. Good job. Spinning Rod Rebel said, I've never seen it upside down flying tuna. Yeah, man, that hurricane tossing them up. Layout Fish, welcome to the show. Michael Soloranzo. Oos, welcome. Colton, it's been a minute since I've been on here. Yeah, man. Good to see you again. Glad you could join us. Tim, welcome back. Picked up another submission fishing jig at Dana Landing this week or last week. Hello from Valley Center. What's going on, man? Valley Center, holding it down. Thank you for the purchase, by the way. Appreciate the support. Sammy Prum, what's going on, Sammy? Glad you could join us. The Slayer. Jeremy, what's going on, man? Lito, what's up, man? Good to see you. Who all ordered the dodo jigs? Just come by. They look fire. Yeah, we only had two. We had two styles. We had the assassin and then the sumo. We had 100 each, but we're down pretty low. We probably only got like a 20 each. They're like a limited edition thing. So I mean, once they're gone, and we've only got like a 20 left or something like that. And that was only like a week ago. So a lot of you guys got on them. That's good. I want to see somebody get bit. Nobody's used them yet. I don't know if because they're the special edition, nobody wants to use them. Benji Kim Fishing, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. We're on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. I just run the Instagram in parallel to it, but if you guys want to join the chat and stuff like that, you can hop on the YouTube channel. I'll try to keep up on this one as well, but if you guys want to come in, usually I cut the stream short and then we do the main thing on YouTube, but see the work, give you guys a little bit of the dual stream action. Let's see. Dinks, Oos, what's going on? Dansky, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Chet Prack, welcome back, man. La Jolla's been producing nice grade yellowtail lately. Yeah, man, yellowtail's been I've seen some good yellowtail fishing this year, more so than last. Even like last year, I don't think was that good, but just the grade of yellowtail this year. They've been all over the patties, really good sizes, really good yellowtail year. Let's see. Good evening, everyone. Oos from Bullhead. Benji, Tom Cabrera, welcome to the show. Manny Fresh, welcome. Steve Mendoza, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. See you out there making those rods, dude. Looking good. Leonard, good to see you again, as always. Going out to him. What's up, bro? Going out tomorrow on a half day, Fernando. Yeah, I'll tell you about the story. I went out yesterday. We'll catch you guys up on that. Loving the new studio. Thanks, man. It's the basically just my garage. So my home office was getting worked on. Captain Dan, Oos, greetings from Washington, D.C. My Dorado jigs are arrived. Thanks. Kevin Nakata was on. Really? Yeah, he was going back to Florida. That's funny. Took him into the VIP lounge. Dang. Kevin got it done right. So happens when you know the big names on campus. What's going on? What's going on, guys, on Instagram? Glad you could join us. I'm on YouTube, by the way, guys, if you want to check it out. Or you can hang out a little bit on Instagram. It's all good. Yeah, so let's see here. Let's catch up on what there actually is a little bit of fishing news going on here. There was one story which I thought was pretty funny. We'll bring up here. There was another walleye fishing scandal. This one I got from, looks like Yahoo Sports. You guys remember that one that happened where they were stuffing the weights in the walleye and it was this big stink? But yeah, it looks like it happened again. It doesn't look like it was the weights though. Somebody was stuffing fish in another one, another fishing tournament. I guess, is in the spotlight because of a cheating scandal. This time involved Lake Erie walleyes that had allegedly been stuffed with smaller fish to make them heavier. Peter Smith, 57, a competitor at the Bark Cove Walleye Duel, July 29th through 30th, Dunkirk, New York, was disqualified after the director appeared to be stuffed with smaller fish. One contained a 12-inch walleye with the tail portion removed. Another contained fully intact white perch. Both smaller. So here's the thing: both the smaller fish, I guess, had holes in their lips, indicating that had recently been caught. Um, yeah, just crazy, man. This was another big thing, Grand prize for the event was so 30 teams, all inclusive Panama fishing trip valued at $14,500. So there's a lot of money in fishing, and you wonder why these guys cheat. And the last people had really scammed out like hundreds of thousands of dollars. This one was a little bit less, but still, $15,000 value basically on a trip, and it's just crazy. And yeah, here they referenced the two men were sent. So the other people only got 10 days in jail in May after being found guilty of a felony charge stemming from their actions. It seems kind of light, 10-day sentence for a felony charge, but I don't know. I guess I don't write the book, but even still, you just the worst part is not so much the charges. It's just you're never gonna fish again. Like I think that's really probably the biggest punishment. I mean, they're not gonna be able to go anywhere, do anything. Especially if just imagine you love fishing and you'll never be able to show your face on the water again. Probably the only time you'll be able to go is the dark of night or with the skies or something like that. It's crazy. Just not worth it, man. I don't know. It just this need to cheat in these tournaments is crazy. I just don't understand it, but it happens, man. It happens all the time. What's going on, Joey Bassin? What's up, man? Carlsbad Trav, welcome to the show. Everybody on Instagram. I'm on YouTube if you guys want to join. I'll probably cut this stream a little short, but just doing the dual stream thingy. Let's see. Oscar636, welcome back to the show. Danny Perez, what's going on, man? Richie Rich, welcome. Are the dodo jigs for dodos or spotties and stuff? I got a couple. No, they're for anything. They're mostly they're the 15 grams, so primarily for probably your spotties and stuff like that. You can definitely throw them at the dodos, but I would upgrade the hooks because they have just the if you guys know what we're talking about, I got 100 each of these, and the sumo and the assassin made in honor of the dodo showing up. So we just got a little Dorado color thing, but they've got the smaller hooks. Although I don't know, I've been seeing people landing friggin' 40-inch halibuts with these things. It's kind of crazy, but you could throw them. Some of the bait we've been seeing is pretty small. So, but I would definitely upgrade the hook. Throw a bigger one on if you want to throw a micro jig. You could test them out, but dude, don't come at me if you don't land them. Benji Kim Fishing, welcome to the show. If you guys, everybody knows the surf fishing legend, Benji Kim in the house. If you're not, go subscribe to his channel. Go learn you something good. Let's see here. I know we had another story. Oh yeah. So I think tonight is the final night for fishing at Santee Lake. So apparently they do some night fishing, and there's only one more chance to do it. So if you guys, I don't know if you're compelled to go after the show tonight, go ahead and hit them up. I think they run it from 5 to 11:30. Like I don't do too much freshwater fishing, but I know some of you guys are into that. So Santee Lakes is a night thing. They probably end it for the summer and the kids and stuff. So just thought I'd bring that up if you guys are inclined to go do that. Apparently tonight is the last night, so definitely go get on that. Spinning Rod Rebel, any larger dodo pattern jigs in the works. 1680. It was just all we had planned is just for the small ones. It was kind of just a off the cuff thing we did. We made an order, so we decided, hey, let's just do some of these like dodo ones. So we didn't really plan to do anything else. If you guys like them and get bit, we can make them, but they were just kind of a one-off. Kind of once they're gone, they're gone. And then who knows? Maybe next year or down the road we'll do. If you guys are into that, we can do definitely some more limited edition colors. You got that 600 gram pre-rigged? Heck yeah, dude. Hopefully you get on them. Cave Dog Cow, what's going on, man? Grunion Run right now. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So that is a thing. Thank you for that, for the heads up. So apparently the grunion run is going on. If you guys don't know, grunion come in at night, and then they allow a couple. So they come up in the surf, usually to breed and stuff like that. They flop into the sand, and you get only a limited window, usually like a day. I think maybe there's a couple weekends where they let you go and go on the beach and get them. So it's pretty fun. I've never done it myself, but I think it's pretty cool. Uh, when are the 500 sumos coming? I guess it's not unheard of. That'd be. I wonder if that would work. The profile, because if you're fishing a 500 gram, you're only really fishing for tuna and big rockfish. Unless you're out on the East Coast, you're definitely going for snapper. Would probably work, but yeah, I'm curious if a sumo would benefit more than like the ones we already have. The sumo or the samurai and the assassin. I mean, possibly. Hang the dodos and cherry bombs on my Christmas tree. Yeah, there you go. Christmas. Hey, at least you don't lose them when they're on the Christmas tree. Just ornaments, ornaments. A spotty edition. Oh, there you go, dude. That'd be a good one. That would be a good one. Kentucky is sketch after dark. Going out on the Liberty in the morning. Hopefully the swell won't be bad. Yeah. So let's talk about this. We'll get into it, guys. So we went. I went fishing on the Pacifica. So we did the BD Outdoors trip. I know last week we did the. What's going on, guys? Everybody on Instagram, welcome. We're on YouTube if you want to join us, or you can chill on Instagram. It's up to you guys. A little more interactive on here. But yeah, so we went on the Pacifica. I sponsored a BD trip, and you guys know Cameron. We went out with him. He's been on the show. Benji Kim was with us, so I got to meet him. Got to hang out with Benji, and yeah, it was cool. We pretty much just fished next to each other the whole day. Talked about YouTube and fishing and the whole industry. It was a really good time. So pleasure meeting him, and he's in the chat. If you guys have any surf fishing questions, this is the guy. Um, yeah, so we went out, and I'd say we went probably 40 miles south, but we got our asses kicked. That weather, I mean, it was freaking brutal. It was probably some of the roughest seas I'd been on um, in a long time. Maybe one other trip I can remember up in Newport a couple years ago was pretty bad, where the boat actually had to turn around. But this one was pretty bad. It was choppy, tons of wind. The swell was pretty rough, and yeah, it was pretty brutal. I'm surprised more people didn't get sick. I know a few people were kind of feeling it, but it was just white caps everywhere. It was weird because like the swell was coming, and then you had the wind chop, and then the wind was pushing, and it was pretty brutal. The first couple hours, we didn't find anything. We kind of went bluefin fishing, so we went just directly south, kind of went past the islands. I think we were looking for like schoolie bluefins and stuff like that. We didn't see any foamers, nothing, and we were probably already 4 hours in, so we started to push our way west, kind of like the 302. We were south of like the 302. What is that? The 312, I think. And then we came up. So then we started finding patties. And did patty fishing looking for Dorado and stuff like that. And we did get on some. I think the boat had 34 people. We ended up getting 20 something Dorado. So we were picking at them. Yeah, it was super rough. I had the uh, first hookup of the day on the submission jig. We rolled up to the patty. I tossed one in, and I totally lost it at the boat. Like, we took a wave. I stumbled back. I hit the deckhand in the face with my rod. It was like big swell came, like hit the deckhand in the face when he had the gaff, and it was like the fish popped off, and it was crazy. Benji was also fishing the jig. Benji came. He was right next to me. He caught one on the jig, and then he lost it too bad. It was so rough. And we were picking at him, but the jigs were working, man. My buddy Travis came with us, and I bought him a ticket, and he came on board, and he caught one on the submission jig. He landed one later, and it was pretty cool. He called a shot. We saw this patty kind of out in the distance, and he's like, "Oh, there's a dodo out there," and he casted it, and reeling it in, man, and got slammed on I think it was the 60-gram assassin. It was pretty sweet. Most people were fishing live bait, but I'd say the jigs were doing just as good. But it was like a picky bite. The problem was interesting is that we were finding patties that were holding, and they would eat, and we'd only get like two or three, but then they would just disappear. That was really odd. Normally they stick with the boat, at least in my experience. When you find a patty that's holding with the Dorado, like, you can keep going back to it. You drift out, you go back, you drift out, you go back. This just wasn't the case today. We would pull, we'd find them, you'd see them under the boat kind of going wild, and we'd pull maybe one, two, maybe three off, and then they would just vanish. they wouldn't be around anymore, and then we'd have to go find them again. And it was a pretty tough day, but I mean, we got them got on them a little bit, but yeah, the conditions were just, man. We were trying to cast off the bow, and it was just like fall. It was like, where you're falling over, and the boat shifts, and everybody like stumbles to the right, and everybody stumbles to the left, and the wind was a problem because we'd get on a patty, and within like a minute and a half, you already were straight drifted off of the patty, and it was like it was way far away. Like that's how bad the wind was. It was you just couldn't get on. You literally legit maybe got one, maybe two casts, and then the live baiters. It was just, man. It was I wanted nothing to do with the bait tank that day. It was so busy. It was spaghetti and meatballs. Like the so much wind and chaos. Yeah, it was fishing the jigs from the bow was definitely the spot. But the jigs were working for sure, which is cool. Sometimes on that finicky bite, it was, I say 95% of people were fishing bait, but and then just a handful up front at the bow. But the jigs, I'd say equally, maybe if not better than the live bait that day. So it was pretty cool to see. Aaron Kruger, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. The beard himself, the legend. Charlie, what's going on, man? Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Always good to see you. Got some jigs from Mike today. Yeah, I hooked him up with some jigs. I asked him if he ever fished them from surf, so I want Benji to show us some magic. It was fun stuff. Richie Rich. Yeah, there was Cameron's sister was on board, and she got a little seasick, but she toughed it out, dude, like a boss. I think she chummed a few times, but I was surprised not that many people were sick. As bad as it was like it was pretty gnarly. But most people they toughed it out, man. Yo, Chinator, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Good to see you again. If you guys are curious, people typing Oos in the chat, that basically just means that they've liked the channel. So if you guys have liked the channel, or if you haven't already, please do. Please subscribe. It really helps. Helps the algorithm too. If you guys like it, gets the word out there. And so everybody typing Oos usually just means that they've liked the show. So if you guys are new here and you're seeing anybody type that, that's basically what it means. And if you haven't subbed already, please consider it. Jeremy A and Christina, what's going on, man? The beast himself. How you been? And we got all the Slayers in today, man. Every single person in here is like Joseph Romero. I don't know if I missed you. Welcome to the show. Most of you guys in here are fucking Corey King. What's going on, man? Don't want to miss you either. Glad you could join us. Tons of Slayers here, guys. If you guys are new and you're just lurking in the chat and you've got questions, go ahead and ask them, man. Even if I don't answer them, and you got some questions in the chat, ask these guys, man. There's lots of good fishermen here. It's not very often you get the opportunity to get so many good anglers in one place where you can like ask questions and talk and pick their brain. So definitely take advantage of that. I'll help out if I can, if I've got the answers to it. But a lot of these guys got better answers than probably I do. So love seeing you guys in here. Dinks, what's going on, man? Yeah, so anyways, the Pacifica was super cool. It was still a good trip. We were out on the water. It was still rough. I felt okay. Just getting beat up. I mean, it was just a lot of back and forth. The dodo bite, I think, has kind of been the story. They're mostly small. We caught one kind of big ass one at the end, but most of them were kind of, like the rat dodos and stuff, but it's still fun. We still got on them. So anyways, next week we're going to have Cameron will be on, and he's going to do a giveaway with some Haggard Pirate stuff. So he's got some shirts and stuff to give away. So you guys know Cameron from BD Outdoors, he'll be back, and he's going to bring merch. So if you guys are interested, come in next week, and he'll definitely be doing a giveaway. We give some Haggard Pirate giveaway, so it should be pretty cool. And we'll just talk fishing. So get your question ready for him. That'll be next week. And then Benji, I'm trying to get Benji on the show too, so hopefully we get him in next couple of weeks. You got to put the pressure on Benji Kim. Talk some surf fishing for you guys. I think that'd be awesome. Let's see. Got the Haggard Pirate. We got all that. Yeah, so basically, most of the Instagram questions that I had were all related to this. I know Cave Dog wanted to know which app I use, and if I look at like weather apps. So did El Sueño kind of wanted to know the same thing, and then somebody else asked what I think the hurricane was going to bring. So all the questions that we had from Instagram were really all kind of related into this. So we'll definitely get into that. All right, guys, y'all on YouTube or Instagram, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go straight to YouTube. If you want to join me, come find us on YouTube, and we'll see you there. Later, guys. Oos. Close this out. Let's see if we had any more questions on here. Yeah, Danny923 wanted to know, what do you think the hurricane will hurt or help fishing? We're going to talk about that. Cave Dog want to know, do you use any weather forecasting apps? And El Sueño, best weather websites. As far as best weather websites, I like Windy. Before I go out, windy.com is pretty good. And then I just use Tides for Fishing. Those are probably my two main ones. Magic Seaweed I use too. I think that is, I haven't used that in a while, but I think that one's been mixed. Somebody told me that was like a new merged with another site or something like that, but that's always some good information. The only things I'm really concerned with are the wind and then the swell, but more importantly, like the intervals in between the swell. So when I take my boat out with the kayak, I'm usually only bay fishing unless we're going offshore like La Jolla. Then you definitely want to check the swell, the waves, and then the intervals is the most important thing. If I'm just going to fish in the bays, the wind's probably the only thing I'm concerned with. And then, but offshore, yeah, I'm looking for offshore swell and everything like that. And definitely the wind. Wind is probably your biggest factor as far as what's going to be capable or not. So I think windy.com is probably the best. I think it's pretty accurate. You know, nothing's perfect. You still got to check weather before you go, you know, and get up to date and stuff like that. But can't go wrong with windy, man. That's probably like my first go. And then for the more detailed stuff, Tides for Fishing is pretty much my jam. Yeah, you guys, windy. Y'all know. You guys know the sauce. David Crispin, welcome to the show. Ooh, glad you could join us. Windy, the Slammer Fish said, Windy, yeah, NOAA are the best. Yeah, NOAAs, I was on that today looking up the hurricane information. I actually have a link for that. But yeah, that's like the more official one. And sometimes you can compare those two. There's like, they're usually pretty close, but if you find discrepancies in the two, you know, it's good to kind of cross reference them. Got one today on the red stripe 20-gram assassin. Was a struggle though on the kayak. Was windy afternoon. Yeah, that's been the story. You know what's interesting though is like this weekend doesn't look that bad. So I was concerned like with the hurricane coming in, but I was looking at windy.com and I was like, it looks pretty good. Sunday it starts getting kind of crazy. But for some reason Saturday, like it looked pretty sweet. I don't know if that's all smoke and mirrors or what. So, anyways, yeah, we got the hurricane coming in. You guys don't know, Hurricane Hilary's coming in. That's what it's been named. It's right now. It's kind of in Mexico, and then we're gonna share this for you guys. So we can take a look here. Sorry, it's my first time streaming. So yeah, you guys were talking about the NOAA website. This is actually what it is. So if you guys want to check it out, there's other tabs and stuff like that. So this is the hurricane that we have coming in, and it started kicking up when we were out yesterday. And you can see here what we got going on. And right now, it's pretty much at a major storm. So this is where we are, right? This was at 6 p.m. Thursday. So that's today. The epicenter. So the M here is major hurricane. Then Friday, 12, major hurricane. You can see all the way up. Now, once you hit, it's still, we got a couple days till it gets up here. then it just turns into a regular hurricane. By the time it kind of hit landfall into Mexico, it's just downgraded to a regular hurricane, which is honestly still pretty gnarly because regular hurricane, I think winds, sustained winds of like, was it 30 miles an hour, 30, 40 miles an hour or something like that. So it's still no joke. Yeah, you can see down here the major hurricane winds plus of 110 miles an hour. Hurricane winds right here 74 to 110. So that's still pretty beefy. Looks like by the time it hits California, it's actually just going to be a D, which is the tropical depression. So it's gonna. We're not going to get the hurricane. We're not going to get the full force of the actual hurricane. But it still looks like it's going to be a lot of rain. So that's sort of, I think, the bigger story. What we're looking for is what's going to push up, with the water. Now, one of the big things we have to consider is last year we had a hurricane as well, which is funny because we don't get hurricanes that often, right? Last year's hurricane was, I think it was Hurricane K, was only a Category 2 hurricane when it was pushed up. Now, this one is actually, it's already um, a 3, and they're saying it might even turn into a 4. So it's substantially stronger than what we had last year, um, as far as hurricane wise. So we did have that one. And we know landfall hurricanes haven't hit California since like 1939. So it's pretty rare that hurricanes actually land. They thought this one might, but it looks like it's not going to quite be a hurricane by the time it lands. But it definitely, um, rain is going to be the biggest story. And I think that'll probably be the biggest contributor as far as bay fishing goes and surf fishing. Once you get that freshwater inlet, is probably going to be a problem. But what we're more interested in, like if you're fishing pelagics, is what's going to be the repercussions of the storm pushing up as far as warm water goes, or does it push the fish up? That's kind of the contentious thing that everybody kind of talks about is, do the fish push up with it? Does it ruin it? And I was trying to look at K. So I fished all through last year, and Hurricane K kind of had a different path. Let me see if I can bring that up here. So this was just from Wikipedia here, but this was K last year. So this one only got up to like a Category 2. And this one, you can see where it came up, but then it curled back down around. So it actually never made landfall at all. It looks like it hit part of Baja right here. I mean, what is that? Part of like Ensenada in this corner. So it looks like it did go over Baja a little bit, but then it did this curl. And I think this one was projected to kind of hit land, but it never actually did. It went more west. And then you can see here it kind of died um, right around the Coronado Islands. That's what these are right here. So it's like it didn't quite make um, California. And then that was also, you can see the blue arrows down here. This was a tropical depression. So by the time it came up, and then this was a tropical storm. So this turquoise is tropical storm. And then this yellow one was Category 1. So last year we had tropical storm, we had depression storm, and then it hit Category 2 all right through here. And then it hit Category 1, and then it faded out of tropical storm, and then it came out and did the curl. So last year, I don't think it really had too much of effect. If anything, I think it kind of killed some of the Dorado fishing. I feel like it was pretty good. Oh, one other thing too is that last year's hurricane was, um, it was last September, so we're like a month early. I think it was the end of September. This one came around, if I remember correctly. So let's see. Yeah. Oh no, the beginning of September. So it actually wasn't that far. Looks like it formed of September 4th, and then it dissipated September 13th. So it's about a month difference between the storms. But this one, the new one, is taking a different path, and of course that can change at any point. But according to the NOAA, this one is coming up. So last year, K came out here right when it hit the islands and Baja. It swirled out here to the west. So this one is actually projected to push all the way up, and it's a much stronger system. So that'll be interesting. It's going to be kind of hard to compare the two. Last year, I don't think there was any significance. We always talk about, are they going to bring the Wahoo up? People talked about, the Wahoo coming up. Is this going to be the year? Are the Dorado going to be pushed up? So last year, I don't think it had too much effect. If anything, I think it kind of screwed up the fishing, if I remember correctly. I know we got kind of excited, like it was going to bring something in, but I don't think that was the case. It actually kind of wrecked things for a while. The dodo fishing was really good, then it kind of died off, and then later in the month, like it picked up again. But this time will be interesting to see. My prediction is, I think it'll be probably a little more the same, but I think the conditions will be worse as far as the surf and then the bay fishing goes. And I think that was some of the problems we had with all the rain last year. And I know I talked to Lane about this. We kind of had some theories when we went and fished the wall with him, is when you get so much fresh water, that actually becomes a problem for like the bays and the surf, because it messes up the fish, the oxygen and the whole thing. And I think that's going to be the biggest case with the hurricane, is the actual rain. So more than anything, we're worried about, like, all the weather people are worried about, Palm Springs, the desert, sort of the inland places for flash flooding, because it's going to get so much rain. So I think that's pretty much a guarantee. That's going to come in Sunday, and then we'll see what happens. So I think that's really what does more damage, I think, than good. You never know what the fish are going to do. Supposedly, what happens is the storm pushes up the Dorado, the yellowfin, because they're trying to get away from the storm, and or they ride it. It's a warm water current, and then when it hits the colder water, it dissipates. But theoretically, when it brings that warm water with it, I don't think the fish turn down and go into the hurricane. So everybody's kind of hoping that it bring the pelagics come in with it. They ride the hurricane and push up, but only time will tell. Like I said, last year was the only real meter I have for like judging it of a recent one that we had, and it just wasn't that well. So curious what you guys think. I was surprised because I thought it would be a lot worse, but fishing still it still looks pretty freaking good as far as like Saturday goes. I mean, I was checking the windy. It looked pretty good Saturday, and even the swell was like 3 feet. I think at like 12 or 13 intervals, which is actually really, really good. I'm curious what you guys think. I thought trips were going to be canceled, but it looks like they're all to go. So interesting. And we'll see what the rain brings. That's probably my biggest worry. Thunderbird has one the other day. Oh, had one the other day. What did they have? I kind of missed it. Graham says Magic Seaweed joined the surf line, and it's not as good. I use Magic Seaweed for the surf height at La Jolla at launch. Haven't found anything new lately. Yeah, I tried to look at it a few weeks ago, and it didn't seem as good. Maybe it's just new. As far as like the interface, if something changes, it seems like it's different. When will the stripe marlin show up? Yeah, man, I have no clue. Marlin fishing is like, that's a whole different world. I feel like people that fish marlin are like, it's like they only fish marlin. It's such a specialized thing. Um, yeah, I have no experience in that. That would be cool though. Although I don't know how the hell you'd catch one. I know you see the guys out there, or I don't know if they're catching sailfish or the marlin, but I see them down there with like their buoys that are like 3,000 feet deep, and they kind of drift and wait for a bite. Like it's a different kind of fishing that I admittedly have like no experience with. Surfline, if I'm yakking for the beaches. So that's the new one. Interesting. Yeah, all I really need to know is the surf height and then the intervals. Yeah, if I'm gonna launch off the beaches for sure. I mean, anything that has that, but even tides for fishing is pretty good because they have that information. It's pretty quick. I don't know if it's as accurate as the other ones, but usually it'll show you. Um, Pretty standard, pretty fast stuff. Yeah, but hopefully that wind dies down. Things named Hilary always screwing things up. Yeah, man, she's bringing the damage. Rolled in the water a lot of the areas offshore last year and shut down. Yeah, it did. Remember that? We were all kind of excited, thinking what he's talking about is Hurricane K. It was um, I was kind of hopeful that it would bring some good fish in, like some wahoo and stuff like that. I remember doing the podcast last year about it, but yeah, it screwed stuff up. I remember going out fishing like right after it passed, and it was pretty wild. It was like the fishing died for like 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie. So it might be getting a similar thing here. Although it's pushing, like this one didn't go die in the ocean. This one's gonna make landfall. I don't know. Nobody knows. can only pray. Captain Dan says this is similar to a Hurricane Lisa in 1976 that came to the Imperial Valley in San Diego and will get a lot of rain. Grotto fishing, should get better with all the runoff debris that will enter the water. Oh, that's interesting. I never really thought about that. So Captain Dan's saying basically the degree is going to create sort of patties and shelters, which is a good point. You know how we do patty fishing, but you don't always have to just find patties. That's actually really good, Captain Dan, because I've seen them under like logs or even like trash piles. You can see like it doesn't matter, whatever holds like the plankton and then the bait fish eat, the pelagics will be there. But even if you guys see like a big log in the water, when we went out Tuesday, me and Kevin, we found like this giant ass log. There was nothing on it, but we definitely stopped and check it out. It doesn't just have to be specifically kelp or a kelp patty. That happens to be a good ecosystem where they eat, but yeah, really anything that provides cover, that provides bait, is going to provide fish. So that's interesting. We'll see. It looks like the water temperature still held up. It looks like it cooled down like massively off the coast of San Diego. Let's take a look at temp break. But you can see here, like this is pretty cold. Like we're talking this blue area is 74 degrees. This is inland, is right above La Jolla. Looks like was that Encinitas Del Mar area. And then south here too, down the rock pile, and the islands look pretty cold. I mean, if this thing's accurate, I don't know if the clouds cover providing that or what, but it's bringing in a cold strip, which usually you don't see. Typically, this finger is where the hot water is pushing up, but it looks like the cold water is pushing up, which I thought was interesting. This place is still pretty hot, so this is where we were finding the dodos last time. In between Oceanside, Dana Point, all the way into Catalina is still pretty good, but that Oceanside to like San Onofre still pretty hot. I mean, we're talking. We went out there Tuesday. This area was a good 74 degrees. And then we pushed out west pretty far, and we were still getting 72, 73-degree water at like the 209, 277. But 181 looks pretty good too. So like this whole section, but you're going to have to push out a little bit. So I don't know if you guys are fishing La Jolla. It's definitely going to be pretty cold, almost 10 degrees colder, which is pretty wild. And then out here is where all the bluefin are still going on. So bluefin like it a little colder, it seems like that in between. Tanner and Cortez have been Bluefin City. That's where all the sport boats have been going on, like the 2 and 3 day trips. They've been killing it. Good grade tuna too, but that's still some good temperature. Yeah, this whole inland area though, it still looks pretty good. I'm just concerned about the water pushing up. It looks pretty cold from the lower finger all the way up to the islands. And we found, so when we went the Pacifica, the captain was saying that the water was actually pretty. So he went on, I think, a day and a half prior, and we went south, and he said the water was super dirty, and it had turned over just from like the few hours that they had went up there. So I think the hurricane was already, stirring up something, and that's why we ended up going west. So we went looking for schoolies. Schoolie bluefin, couldn't find him, ended up going west, and then the water definitely got better. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully it'll stay good. Hoping we can beat the wind on Saturday, trying to hit the LB wall in the act. It should be good. Saturday honestly doesn't look bad. Sunday is really when it's coming in, and then we're kind of going to make landfall on looks like Sunday. But you can see here, we got the hurricane down here in Mexico right now. That's of right now. You see it pushing up Friday. It's still pretty far. And this is Saturday. You can see Saturday still pretty deep, but look at this. that's not too bad. Honestly. 7 knots. Nice. What is that? 9 miles an hour or something like that. I mean, it's not great. Was that 6 a.m.? But look at that. The later it gets, 7, 6. So this is like 3 p.m. Yeah, you guys might be kind of beat up. I take that back. Long Beach is probably going to get the business a little bit. Yeah, you guys are like 14, 12 knots. Looks like early's the key. So 8 a.m., 5 a.m. looks good. 9 a.m. Yeah, then it starts getting a little hairy. 10, 11. Yeah, you guys are in trouble though. Yeah. Yeah, I think if you get out early, you'll be good, but it's gonna kick up a little bit on the yak. It's just crazy how much different the wind is. I mean, look at San Diego. Like if I go out of Oceanside, we're talking. Look at San Clemente's 5 knots. Out here in the middle is 1 knot. I mean, that's crazy. And that whole little section right there. I mean, look at that. 7 p.m. looks perfect. Kicks up a little bit, 10, but that's nothing. 10 knots. But if you're fishing this zone, perfect weather. If you're going Dana Point to Oceanside, I think you'd be good all day. Yeah, man. I don't know about that wall action. You're gonna have to get out there early for sure. But even still, give it a try. Just be safe out there. But you can see this thing's still down there, man. It's pretty ugly. And that's where it starts ripping. So Sunday, everybody's off the water Sunday. This is where it's really starting to. Saturday, I think we're good. Sunday, I think that's when we're gonna have to call it quits. Yeah, 16 knots. That's already looking hairy. 20 knots at the end of the day, 8 p.m. And you can see it's hitting landfall. By the time we hit Monday, looks like it's dissipated. So it kind of disappears once it hits landfall in the colder water. But even Monday morning, still pretty bad. 19 knots. Yeah. So it looks like Sunday, Monday, I'd say probably not a go. But we're going to get the rain too. Even though this is just showing us the wind, we're going to get dumped on and probably won't be able to fish just because of the rain on those days is just going to ruin it. Even though it looks good, I don't think so. I think Saturday's all right, guys. I think we're going to be good Saturday. But we'll see what happens. Let's see. Top 5 rig bait if you're going to be casting from the shore. I don't fish too much shore. I don't know if Benji was still in here, but that's the guy to ask. Some of the classic ones are going to be like sand crabs on like a Carolina rig, even like gulp bloodworms work. Um, Benji, I know, is going to tell you the Lucky Craft. I think the 110 Lucky Craft stick bait is probably the go-to. That's 3. Jigs work. I know some dude sent me a whole bunch of pictures fishing the 10, 15 grams from surf. He was just popping the sumo and killing the corbinas and stuff with it. So, I mean, that's 4. That's probably all you need. Coach is in here. He's probably got some other ones. I'm not too much of a shore based guy, but if you're just fishing from shore from spotties, um, I'd say drop shot is a good bet. Underspin works great. You could throw underspin with like your choice of. I know guys like the Kitech, the pickle kick's been pretty popular. Jigs obviously from shore. There's so many different things, but if you're just starting out, man, I'd say drop shot. Even the Ned rig is pretty easy to fish and pretty good. But since I'm a jig guy, I mean, I'm throwing metal jigs the whole time, from surf, from shore, from kayak, from boats. It's all the same to me. Specifically, what colors do you think for surf calicos? Specifically, reefs. Colors, I kind of base it just on the water clarity. I'm usually down to either am I going to go glow or I'm going to go not. Um, Honestly, I've just been fishing the pink mostly, like the pink with the glow. It's just the one I have tied on the most, and it seems to do really well. The Golden Death too, is pretty good. I'm not a huge color guy, to be honest with you. I know some of these guys are like super into the colors. Um, I don't think color is that important, honestly. Um, so I don't take it too much into consideration. Mostly the shades and then the glow is probably the more important. But there's better fishermen than me that are really diehard into colors. So I might check it out. But yeah, the pink colors never let me down. It's what I've been crushing them on pretty much all year. I've been eating the dodos, and I think it's a good kind of light color. It's got the silver, it's got the glow on it. A lot of guys I know really, really like natural colors, like the greens and the browns and stuff like that. But I think color is just kind of a personal thing. For me, I don't know if there's one color that really does it. I was kind of a cop out answer, but I don't have like a magic color that's like, oh, this one gets bit all the time. I think it's honestly more of the action and more of what the fish want that day. Um, whether they want finesse fishing or power fishing or small jigs or big jigs. I think color is kind of secondary, but I'd say finding out what they want to eat first, kind of mashing the bait and stuff like that, probably be a little more important. Captain Dan, kind of like Florida, you fish the debris lines. Yeah, because they don't even have kelp in Florida. It's like just fishing the debris, I guess. Caught a dodo from under a floating ice chest lid last year. Dude, 100%. It works, man. I think a lot of times they just use it for like the shade too, but anything that'll breed bait, that's pretty funny. I believe it, man. So we're gonna go ice chest hopping. The day of the patty is over with. So that's right, Graham. That's what we do all the time around Rancho Leonero. After the storms pass down there, always works out for us. That's cool. You guys heard it here first. Go look for the trash patties. Find the trash. Find the fish. Yeah, Monday's looking a little hairy for sure. I agree with that. Looks like it dies at the end of the day, but I think well, we have to look at the surf. I don't know what the chop's going to be like. I think probably the water is going to be so beat up, it's going to be pretty unfishable. Even though the wind looked good, sometimes that doesn't tell the whole story because you get out there and the wind actually pushes, it creates the waves. And even though it's not windy out, if the winds came from the up north and they really rocked it, we actually get the residual wind waves. Even though it's not windy, it's like, why is it so choppy? Usually because it was windy up north and it pushes the wind swell down. So you're out there with a flat, no wind, or I shouldn't say flat. You're there with no wind, but then you're still getting mega chop just because the wind pushed it from different areas. So unpredictable, man. The ocean will get you. Bullhead, Arizona is going to get your weather on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, you'll probably be a little bit behind us, but that's really what they're more worried about is like the flash floods and stuff like that. Really, the rainfall. They were saying something like Palm Springs is going to get um like a year's worth of rain, like just over the weekend from the storm. So it's crazy. We'll see. See Manzola said Lucky Craft all day. Yeah, that's definitely the guys love that out here. Oh, Benji said he's here. Drop shot, yeah. Drop shot, I think is like drop shot's so good. It's such a good like that was one of the techniques I used it like when I first got into bay fishing and like on the kayak and stuff. Drop shot was like my go to. But I know some of these guys, um, Yakuza's. You guys know them, the Spotty Bowl guys. We dropping some of their hints here, but I know a lot of those guys use the drop shot. It's not like it's a secret. It's one of the freaking oldest techniques out there, but it still works. And I know people using like the drop shot with the jig on the bottom and then a bait, like a leader with the bait in between, like doing the um like the jig drop shot, man. It is pretty funny. Whatever rain SD gets this weekend, we get a couple days later. Monsoon weather out here, hot and sticky. Oh man, that's the worst. Yeah, coach, that's right. He uses the rusty nails. He doesn't like the lead, I think. So, and then the nails don't snag apparently. Yeah, coach, he uses everything. That's funny. Was that a shelter island from the rocks with a drop shot and a 15 gram? And it was skunked. Oh, dude, that sucks. Yeah, but you've heard about that too, huh? The drop shot with the jig on the bottom. I guess because it's like if you don't, you can get a chance on the fall with the jig, and then as you bring it in, you've got the fluke or whatever you have it on the thing. But I know a very good fisherman that uses that technique and says it works. Cave Dog says colors hook the angler mostly. I'm all about colors. I like using the different colors, but it's like there's. I mean, there is something to the colors for sure. We've already we know that fish can see color. Like it's definitely a thing. How much it needs, but like I like having all the different colors. It's like I said, it's kind of like riding a Harley, right? Even though you don't need all the chrome and everything else. Like it's still cool to have. It's so that's how I kind of feel with the colors. It's like get the colors you like and then really fish the hell out of those. But I don't know, cherry bomb. This guy's be doing pretty well on those. I know Brian likes to fish Spotty World Champ. That dude is like he sold like the orange that orange pumpkin sumo is like that's all he wants to fish. He doesn't want any other colors. A lot of the guys too are like the stellar shad. This one's kind of beat up, but he's probably like the most popular one, just a straight silver with the black eye. I think a lot of guys fish. Oh man, the hurricane is all talk to fishermen, but no one talks about the potential destruction. Yeah, dude, it's true. It's no joke. Um, Especially the flash flood warning. I know all about hurricane destruction, dude. Trust me. I own a house in St. Augustine, Florida, that got absolutely destroyed in the hurricanes last year. It got hit by Hurricane Ian, and then Nicole came like 2 weeks later. It got double dipped. So it took me months, probably 7 months to rebuild that house. We had to gut it, tear all the drywall out, dried. Basically, it was a whole rebuild. It's on the island there, Anastasia Island, and we had king tide, and then the storm came in. So I know it wiped out. We didn't get as bad as like Fort Worth. It was basically wiped off the face of the earth in Florida. But my house in St. Augustine got absolutely destroyed. So yeah, trust me, man. I know all about the hurricane destruction, and it's totally true. Luckily, I didn't live there. It was like it's a second home, vacation home. We kind of rented it out, and we'd go and stay there. But we were only able to go back like later this year. We finally got it done, and it was a long, arduous process. Lots of money, lots of time, lots of income lost, and we were still really fortunate because, and I know I talked about this last time. Some people live in those homes. Like in my neighborhood, it was even when we went back, there was still vacant homes, where I know people and I knew some of the neighbors too. So I talked to them. There was like this old couple right across the street and they still had like the dumpster out and they had not moved back in. So I don't know where they moved to or where they went. And this was almost probably 9 months later. They still hadn't gone back in. So yeah, it can be tragic for sure. Luckily, we're not going to get the hurricane aspect of it. Mexico's probably going to be hit pretty hard. Um, but yeah, it's a shame. Same thing with like the fires, and Hawaii is devastating, devastates everything and everybody, and it's just like so hard to rebuild. That is definitely a thing. So I hear you, man. Halibut, man, right on the money. Never lose the human aspect of it, for sure. Yes, the rainbow roll, yeah, I like rainbow roll a lot. Rainbow roll does really is like really popular in the big colors, and then some of the smaller was not so much in the smaller, but yeah, taste the rainbow, dude. Yeah, Sammy likes rainbow roll and shell. Yeah, rainbow roll is one of my favorite for sure. It's like, hey, you don't know if color works? Well, just pick the jig with every color in it. Problem solved, dude. Curious how many people have any disaster supplies. No, I don't mean like 3 days. Uh, yeah, man, it's hard to say. I've got I got a good stash of like drinkable water, MREs, but I probably have maybe 2 weeks. I don't have that much stuff, but I can get by a little bit. Hopefully we don't feel that in America. I'm hoping not. I think mostly it'll be flooding. We will get some wind, but you know, pray we don't get hammered, like we do on the Gulf Coast for sure. Already getting rain in Quartzsite, Arizona. Yeah, stay safe, man. That's the places I worry the most where it's dry. That's like they're saying like I've mentioned like 3 times, Palm Springs is what I've been hearing is, it stays so dry and that mud just that dirt gets caked up, and once that water comes in, it loosens up, and those mudslides and flash floods just no joke. Mucho, the cherry bomb, hands down my favorite color. Yeah, cherry bomb's good. I think cherry bomb's pretty popular. That red, just like that red crab, it's such a California thing for sure. Chet said I fished the 40-gram cherry bomb Sunday and caught all my bass at the pipe by Newport. Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, cherry bomb. This is I don't know why I have all this stuff at my desk. Cherry bomb color. That's the sumo. Yeah, cherry bomb's pretty sick. That deep red. Is that a Millisaur and Lexa hanging on the wall? Nah, it's the Pen Fathom 15 and the SLX DC, Shimano SLX DC. Nothing special, kind of lower end reels. Because I it was funny, I put those ones on the wall because I've been upgrading. Like I got a Shimano jigger, and then I bought a Shimano, was at the Trinidad. So I've been like buying all these new $500-$600 reels, and then I've been retiring like the small ones up on the wall. You should see my desk here. It's like I've got the boneyard. Got like Fathom 8s, Fathom 10s. Got the casting special. It's a disaster for here. You guys can't see it, but it's like we got jigs everywhere, pliers. It's like my workshop too, because I come down here and I change all like the lures and the ends and the split rings and stuff like that. But we got the 600-gram ogre. It's all right here. Everything you need. A lot of times the water won't soak into the dirt too hard. Won't soak into the hard dirt too. Yeah. Remember when COVID hit? How difficult it was to buy toilet paper. Oh, I remember, dude. I remember. Benji Moreno, $10 super sticker. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. You know what you should be doing? Spending that money at submissionfishing.com. At least get some jigs, dude. I appreciate it, Benji. I'm not giving you a hard time. You probably got all the jigs anyways, but really appreciate it, man. If you don't want need that DC, I have a nice rod to put it on. Yeah, I have like, I'm really looking at like half a dozen bare rods right here. Like I've got something to put it on. It's just I don't know when to fish it. You know, I should probably sell some of this stuff because like I upgrade it and then I have it. But then I take people out fishing, and I like to have the gear too. Like when we did submission at sea, I brought like I brought like 11 rods, and a lot of people like pretty much used them all too. So it's nice having, or like when I take people out of my boat, I like having like all the different rods and stuff, that reels that we can use. Yeah, you will. That's no joke, dude. You come in this garage, you got to sign a waiver. It's like, yeah, I literally step on like hooks sometimes. Like I don't come in here without shoes, man. Yo, I can't tell you how many times I've walked out here with a treble hook stuck to the bottom of my shoe or something. Yeah, much love to you, dude. I really appreciate it, Benji. Buy a couple cases. What'd coach say? Buy a couple cases of water, folks, some rubber tubs to gather water off your roof, and a few canned dried items too. A couple pallets of firewood, heat options if possible. Yeah, that's good advice, man. Bit. Oos. That's all right. We'll let it slide. Coach Worf, welcome to the show. This guy's another surf fishing. Coach, what do you think is the best rig to throw from shore, in your opinion? We brought you up. We were talking about the nails you like to use, drop shot nails, but we're curious. When land is dry, anything could happen, like the 2022 Iran floods. Yeah, it happens all the time. Even like the San Bernardino Mountains up here, there was a mudslide that it killed, I think, quite a few people. They kind of lived at like the base of the mountain, and a lot of that comes after the fires. So when the fires happen and it dries, and then it goes a couple seasons, then it rains or you get the snowfall, and then the mud, the earth loosens up. The roots get the trees, dead, and the roots aren't healthy anymore, and then that's what like pretty much holds all the land together on the side. But once that's all gone, it just major mudslides. Open beach, I like the Carolina or Knocker blinder rig. There you go. What are you throwing on it? Live bait, cut bait? Anybody been fishing La Jolla lately? I heard who did I hear from? Somebody was saying La Jolla had some pretty good sized yellowtail out in La Jolla. The temperature looked pretty cold, but I think it's still pretty good. I haven't been in a couple months, admittedly, so I don't have my ear to the ground too much, but based on what I've heard, I think it's been pretty decent. I think it's definitely worth the look. It's times like this that La Jolla are good because a lot of times people are out offshore looking for other stuff, and then you can slide in because everybody's looking for the bluefin still, and now the Dorado over here, everybody's pushing offshore looking for dodo, yellowfin, um, patty hopping, and then going out and looking for the schoolie bluefin. So sometimes it's a good time to just slide in there and sometimes catch some good fish because everybody else is out looking for other stuff. Probably less pressure. La Jolla's popping when it's like everything's out of season. Summer hasn't started yet, and it's like you got nothing else to do except go fish La Jolla. And you go out there, and there's like that springtime, man. There's like 40,000 boats everywhere and kayakers. I don't know for sure, but it's probably a lot less pressure lately, which is a good thing. If you have mixed rock, sand, kelp, etc., I like spider hitch over a surgeon loop. I know you like that spider hitch. I think you've got that tutorial on your YouTube, right? In one of your shorts or something like that. If you guys go check him out, subscribe to Coach Worship's channel if you haven't already. He does a lot of shorts, and a lot of his shorts are fishing from shore and surf, a lot in La Jolla and stuff like that. Exactly what we're talking about. Lots of opal eye, surf perch, stuff like that. Just wait until you see people, instead of stealing purses, they're tearing up the grocery stores. Don't get caught without your supplies. Yeah, I mean, just don't get caught without ammunition. My mom, rest in heaven, she passed away. She was it was funny. She's like a big time prepper. So when she passed away this last year, I went to her house. That's where I have so much MREs and dried food and water. I have so much prepper supplies just from her house that I took. And she would always tell me like, "Oh, I've got all these supplies and stuff like that." I'm like, "Well, don't tell anybody because you don't have any guns and you don't have any ammo." Because when it really hits the fan, that's what's going to matter. I know it's sad to say, but make sure you're armed more than anything. I mean, it's good to be a good neighbor and help each other out, but not everybody thinks the same way. Last thing you need is somebody knocking on your door looking for your supplies and you can't defend yourself. Sea rig, knocker, good for bait. Artificials, drop shot, weedless is good for mix. Yeah. See, everybody brings up that drop shot for sure. Not on my channel, but he did one for cast and spear. You should make one for your channel. You should do like a little tutorial on the best kind of surf fishing drop shot stuff. I've been a prepper for nearly 15 years. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've got this like generator that she had. It's like she ran her, so she was in the mountains, and that's where I grew up, and a lot of times they'd lose power, but she has this generator that uh, it's like a 3,000. It doesn't run on gas. You can charge it with solar, but it's like a lithium ion big ass generator, and you could run like refrigerators and your routers and stuff. And then it's got this big like 20 by 20 foldable solar panel you can throw out. So I got that sitting in my garage too. I was like, she has some good stuff. My mom knew. It was funny. And then they had those big storms up in Lake Arrowhead where people's like power went out, the streets weren't plowed. And I was kind of sad when my mom passed because I was telling my brothers and sisters this. I was like, dude, she was waiting her whole life for this. She was prepping. She was like, she just passed too soon. She was waiting her whole life for like the mountain to be snowed in and no help. But she was ready. It was like her time to shine, and she never got to see it, man. It was like kind of ironic, but it was like sad. I was like, she would have loved it. She had all of her food. She had all of her water. She had everything. And she just didn't quite make it to that big storm. And we lived up there she lived there like 30 years, maybe even more. I think actually like 40 years. I lived up there almost 20 years. And we had some big storms. We'd lose power and stuff too, but nothing like they had last year where it was people were dying, people couldn't get out. Yeah, it was her time to shine. Oos, Jesse, welcome to the show. Headed to Phoenix for a dance contest. Good luck, man. We're gonna do the tango, salsa, the electric slide. Went and picked up the essentials today. Ain't gonna be scrounging for toilet paper again. Dude, I put a bidet in my house. Instead of toilet paper, just get a bidet, dude. Never have to worry about toilet paper again. That's the way to do it. That's how the real preppers do it. And bidet sales went up like crazy. Remember when they were like hard to find when the government shut everything down? I still don't understand the toilet paper thing. Like, of all the things, it was like people were concerned about toilet paper. Like, what is that? What did that have to do with anything? Brazilian Zoke. Good luck, dude. Never heard of that. I prefer chuck and strip bait myself, but I do get the plastic and hard bait, folks. Sea rig and knocker are great for gulp and artificials, but if you want to be weedless, what's that? The Texposed D shot. I've never heard of that. And Texas rig. I forgot about that. That's a good one too, though. Salty's all about that Texas rig. Putting a lot of trust in your water system, never failing. Look, dude, if the water fails, you're not going to flush your toilet anyways. So what the hell good's the toilet paper going to do? Just stack it up and throw it in the corner. Think it's that bad. We're in trouble. Well, that's why I'm moving to Florida because my house in Florida has well water and it has its own pump system. I don't have to worry about it. I'll hear a different story. I do got to rely on the water. Luckily, I'm a plumber by trade though, so I'll figure something out. Cool. All right, guys. Let's see. Salty. If you're right, Diamond Valley Lake dam fails. The whole city below is screwed. Yeah, man. This podcast took a dark turn. We went from talking about fishing to prepping. That's good stuff, though. It's all good though, guys. It's so true with the hurricane coming in. Do stay safe. Be careful out there if you are fishing. You know, just be smart. Don't make any stupid decisions. Don't be out. I definitely want to go out Sunday, Monday. Um, yeah, but just stay safe. We're supposed to be getting a lot of rain. The wind is still going to be pretty strong. So hunker down, be prepared, get your stuff. Don't be caught with your pants down. If you guys need anything, reach out to me. I got a 4x. I got firearms. I got food. I got water. So serious, I'll take care of you guys. Let me know if you guys ever need help or need some sort of situation. I'm here for you guys. You can get a hold of me on Instagram. A lot of you guys got my number. So if it ever hits the fan, we'll all stick together. We'll get through it. Hopefully it doesn't get that bad. And we'll see everybody next week. And we'll just be talking about another fishing adventure. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. And thanks for hanging out. Again, next week we're gonna have Cameron with BD Outdoors. He's gonna have a Haggard Pirate giveaway, so we're gonna be giving shirts away and stuff like that. If you guys want to get some submission jigs, you can get them at your local tackle stores or submissionfishing.com. And yeah, be safe out there, guys, and go out there and fish while you can. I'd say maybe Friday, Saturday is probably your best bet. Get in and get out and spend time with your family. Captain Dan says ditto. Well equipped. Yeah, dude. Hey, you guys come to Carlsbad. Me and Captain Dan got you covered. We're good to go. All right, guys. Like I said, take care of each other. And if you guys need help, I am serious though. Do reach out. We'll do what we can. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. Or if you guys, if it does ever get that bad, hopefully we just get some rain and it's not too bad, and we're just on here bitching about fishing again. But enjoy hanging out with you guys. Until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Oos.